BEIISCH is a passionate educator. He brings so much enthusiasm to his classroom, and his students share his love of science. He brings material to life with both hands-on and virtual demonstrations. He is a lifelong learner. I am always amazed at his vast knowledge about science and technology, yet he is always finding and sharing new information about both topics. He cares deeply about the students he works with. He creates rapport with his students and treats them with respect and fairness. I often see him chatting with students in the hall as they stop to share personal stories. 7th and 8th grade students go back just to chat with him. He puts the needs of his students first in every way. Students gravitate toward him and trust him because of the relationships he is able to build. This helps them grow as individuals and grow in their academics. Not only is he a passionate teacher, but he also takes on the role of team leader, department leader, and is part of Edison's Sunshine Committee, United Way representative, and Schoology ambassador. Tyler not only uses technology in his classroom, he also helps other teachers use technology in their content areas. When I think about the type of teacher I want teaching my own child, I think of the qualities that Mr. BEIISCH already has: passion, enthusiasm, caring, leadership, and connection. He exemplifies what it means to be Teacher of the Year in his classroom, in his school, and in the community.
Jennifer BOGUE has taught kindergarten exclusively at Hawthorne Elementary for 30 years. The foundational knowledge that is gained in kindergarten is crucial, and her tireless efforts have pushed entire generations of students through elementary school. She has encouraged, excited, and taught hundreds of students who needed a caring, loving, and talented teacher. Her dedication to the teaching profession is unmatched. She dedicates her time, energy, and all resources available to her in making sure that her students are successful in both school and home. Jennifer is the definition of a lifelong learner and is always seeking to grow professionally by taking part in courses and programs to better her teaching and maximize student performance. Jennifer is the first to tell her students, "You belong," the first to teach them, "You can," and the first to show them what they can become. Every year, month, week, and day for the last 3 decades, she has returned to repeat this important message out of a personal passion for the act of teaching. Jen differentiates instruction to meet personal learning needs, weaves engagement into every one of her lessons, all while instilling an understanding of personal character and how to learn as a student. She is a staple of our school's leadership team and an avid practitioner of the Circle of Courage mindset. Throughout this pandemic, through the struggles of distance learning last spring, through masks and social distancing among 6-year-olds, she is as an exceptional teacher as she is a friend.
Amy is an early childhood teacher at Hawthorne who demonstrates passion, resilience, and dedication to her students and school. She is a leader in our early childhood program while taking on the daily challenge of working with not just a blended group of preschool students, but also the specialized communication room of students with autism. When students enter the early childhood program, this is their first introduction to school. Amy works with those families to create a trusting relationship that allows her to build those positive interactions with families, setting up the student for success throughout their education. Amy always stays positive and has a smile on her face and tries to figure out what she can do differently to help a student. She's always so kind and takes pride in the kids she cares for. Amy Edwards changed my life. She truly did. My senior year, I had an opportunity to do a work study in Amy's classroom, though I had no intentions of teaching children in the future. I slowly found myself looking forward to afternoons in Mrs. Amy's classroom and found myself crying when I walked out of the doors and said goodbyes on the last day. I am now finishing my 2nd year as a SPED major. If I had never stepped foot into that room or seen what she does every day, or watched her teach students and seen the happiness that she got from watching her students meet goals and cross finish lines, I wouldn't be so in love with the education field and I'd be majoring in something I wasn't truly passionate about. Being able to watch her work with her students every day was the biggest blessing I have ever received. Mrs. Amy helped me find my passion and my future. One day I hope to be as good a teacher as Mrs. Amy.
When my son was in first grade, he prayed that summer to have Bobby Greenfield as his second grade teacher. The look on his face was priceless when he found out that in fact his second grade teacher was Senora Greenfield. We saw such a change in him from first grade to second grade. He loved school, talked in detail about what he was learning on a daily basis, and started to enjoy reading. He needed that kind of nurturing approach to feel comfortable and have the confidence to succeed. When COVID-19 forced students to begin virtual learning last year, whenever we had questions, we would always receive a response from Bobby, no matter what time of day it was. This summer, Senora Greenfield moved to third grade, and our son had the opportunity to be in her class again. In fact, 23 out of her 24 students chose to stay with her during her transition from second to third grade. A parent's dearest wish is to have a teacher love their child as much as they do, and do whatever they can to help them succeed. There is nothing greater I could hope for, but for my son to be instilled with the love of learning. She is dedicated to her profession and cares deeply about her students. She knows her students as individuals and tirelessly works to simultaneously motivate, challenge, and inspire each one of them. Bobby models excellence for her students, her colleagues, and her community. Bobby is a Fulbright scholar and could choose to do any profession. She chooses to be a teacher. Our world needs those who challenge, inspire, sacrifice, and make an impact by serving others. Our world needs a Bobby Greenfield in every classroom.
Lindsay makes it a point to know each student individually. The students she serves love working with her because she has made each student feel important and valuable. Her dedication to education and compassion towards students and teachers is admirable. She makes a snapshot IEP for each student she serves and gives it to the child's teacher. It has important information like IEP goals, classroom accommodations for MAP and Smarter Balance testing. I have never received this from a SPED teacher in the past, and it has made my life so much easier. I can quickly refer to this form if I need information about a student's needs, and it's a wonderful way to condense a student's big cumulative file into one sheet. This is just one example of her helping her colleagues by going above and beyond what is expected. One of my students is dyslexic. Lindsay has moved mountains within her classroom and among colleagues to meet the needs of this family. I have been an administrator for the Sioux Falls School District for 13 years, and I have never worked with a more talented, committed, and quality special education teacher. Every decision is driven by what is best for students and developing positive relationships with them. She is a learning leader and makes an enormous impact on our school culture, but has also been asked to provide professional development for other special educators in Sioux Falls. So she is not only a leader in our school, but also for the Sioux Falls School District. As teachers, we love kids. Lindsay eats, sleeps, and breathes teaching. We need more people just like her in this profession.
Miss Peterson was my son's favorite teacher last year, and when we had the opportunity to join her classroom again for 5th grade, we jumped at the chance. She is invested in where children are at emotionally and academically, and I know she is honest with them about what they need to do to achieve more. It's a consistent build of character in her class within behavior, learning, and friendships. She somehow works her magic, making sure every student in her class feels empowered every single day. How do you thank someone that has changed the trajectory of your child's education? When in-person learning was no longer available last year, her adaptability and awareness stood out. She made the sudden transition to virtual learning as seamless and engaging as possible for her students and parents. She was also always available for questions. Our son's Chromebook stopped working one day, and she dropped off a new one on our doorstep so he could continue learning. When we got word that learning would be back in person this year, Miss Peterson got to work right away, making sure her classroom was safe, sending pictures and assurances to parents and students, and held virtual meetings to answer questions and concerns to help everyone adjust and feel comfortable with the new normal. She respects students, and they respect her. She has an amazing ability to connect with her students and is a great role model for them as well. We have been blessed to have her in our child's and our lives. Miss Peterson has a passion for creating children who accomplish. The only disappointing thing is that our daughter can't have her as a teacher again.
It is impossible to write into one small letter what Ann Robertson has contributed to students, staff, and administration in her 15 years as the Native American Connections teacher at Whittier Middle School. Ann is known across the district for her work with Native American students. Her ability to link both Native culture and the standards our students must know is a gift. Her expectations are high, and her curriculum is rigorous. She pushes her students to understand economics and trade through standardized math and social studies curriculum, while presenting material with cultural relevance. Because of this approach, students learn about their history while working on skills they need for the future. Ann is a major player on our SAT, our culture squad, our school improvement team, and our attendance team. When we're creating plans for students, she is the check and connect teacher. Ann is invested in all parts of her students' lives and advocates for them when they cannot do so for themselves. She recognizes her job is to model, and as she advocates for those students, she's teaching them how to do it for themselves. Her classroom is always filled with positive energy. She goes above and beyond with the amount of effort she puts in for her students. She is always there for us and was like a grandma to every student she ever taught. She has such a passion for Native American culture that it was contagious. She was a part of every single person's life, whether they wanted her to be or not. She made a positive impact on everyone. Every student deserves to have a teacher like Dr. Robertson.
Rachel Turner's impact at Roosevelt High School is immeasurable. She is an inspiration to her students, colleagues, and the RHS community. She goes above and beyond to ensure that all of her students enjoy the learning process with unique and creative ways to share and practice the skills necessary to master chemistry. As the science department chair, she could easily pad her schedule and teach the classes she has the most experience in teaching, or fill her schedule with classes to work exclusively with highly motivated advanced and AP students. Instead, she built a survey of chemistry course from the ground up. After getting that up and running, she developed a sheltered chemistry course to support our EL population of learners. She is a phenomenal teacher to every level of student and instills a love of learning and helps them apply chemistry to their lives every day. I have learned to never be surprised by Ms. Turner's efforts, enthusiasm, and dedication to coaching, teaching, or to her students or peers. She is the most hardworking and passionate teacher I have ever had the privilege to meet. She constantly inspires and motivates students inside and outside the classroom. She helps students envision how much of an impact a high school student can actually make in our community. She gives maximum effort to everything she does in her job. Ms. Turner not only taught me chemistry, but showed me what it means to be humble, kind, passionate, and hardworking. She is a mentor, a role model, and a friend.